Well, the Dow rebounded a little today, finishing up 61 points, but the Nasdaq and the S&P were both down 24 and 1 point respectively. Economists say the economy is stuck in low gear.
Yeah, hello. And how low did it go yesterday? 500 points it dropped, erasing all of the gains from 2011. Joining us now to talk about this is Professor Demetrios Giannaros of the University of Hartford. Professor, you know, everybody's on pins and needles. The people on Wall Street, the institutional investors, the people with 401ks and IRAs, they're wondering where their money's going and whether they should get out.
Well, Al, there's definitely a panic out there to some degree this week, but I think it's overstated, in my opinion, and I would never recommend to anybody to act in a panicky situation and sell their stocks because somebody else is dumping. There is somewhat of a back off today. That is, the stock market went up a little bit today, and I expect that things will calm down next week, primarily because the European Union has decided to intervene and help Italy and Spain in their financial problems. And part of this, of what happened yesterday and the day before, was related to Europe.
Well, let me ask you this. There are some people, Professor, who do believe we're headed for another recession. What do you see coming down the pike? Well,
we definitely are not in a recession right now, but the economy has slowed down. And I think this hullabaloo that took place in Washington, D.C. relating to the deficit ceiling actually did some damage to the economy because it frightened the consumers and the investors because of all the negative talk. And I think that slowed down spending in July. But I think the likelihood is that it'll pick up when we get into September. So things are not as bad as they seem to be right at this moment. But we're not really where we should be in terms of growing the economy and creating jobs. We have to take more actions to push the economy forward.
Well, what would you expect the president or anybody to do about the job situation? Everybody's kind of in a funk about the economy and not really thinking that the people in businesses don't know whether to hire, whether to spend the money or not. They just don't know where anything is going.
Well, the fact is that businesses are most profitable in the last 30 or 40 years. And most of what's going on relates to a negative psychology regarding negative statements that are made continuously about the economy, and consumers become frightened, and instead of going out to spend what they would normally spend.
So maybe all the media attention is affecting this.
Oh, definitely. I think it's the media. The politicians in Washington, D.C., unfortunately, have done a horrible job this last few weeks with dealing with the deficit. Not because they should not have taken actions on the deficit. They should. But the way they dealt with it and the kind of negative statements they made about the world coming to an end, in a sense, that does not help the average person who does not understand economics and tries to plan their budget based on what they hear.
So stay calm and be thoughtful, and let's wait and see what happens here.
Absolutely, Denise. I think we should be really speaking up the economy, and that will actually help a lot.
Okay. We thank you very much, Professor, for joining us tonight. Thanks for your insight and a positive look at things. Good to hear.
Thank you.